What if I told you that the moment you log into your work computer, you're already inside a system that trusts you far too much? That trust is exactly what hackers are counting on. This is the story of why traditional network security is dead, and what's replacing it right now. For decades, corporate security operated on a simple idea called the Castellan moat model. Build a strong perimeter around your network, keep the bad guys out, and everyone inside is safe. It sounded logical. It failed catastrophically. Because once an attacker got inside that perimeter, whether through a phishing email, a stolen password, or a compromised vendor, they could move freely through the entire network. Nobody was watching them. Nobody questioned them. They were inside the castle, so they must belong there. The 2020 SolarWinds attack is the perfect example. Hackers compromised a software update from SolarWinds, a company trusted by 18,000 organizations including the U.S. Treasury, the Pentagon, and the Department of Homeland Security. Once that malicious update was installed, attackers had free movement across entire networks for 9 months before anyone noticed. 9 months. That's what blind trust looks like at scale. This is exactly why Zero Trust architecture was born. The concept was formally defined by John Kindervag at Forrester Research back in 2010, but it took a decade of catastrophic breaches before the world started listening. The core principle is devastatingly simple: never trust, always verify. Every single user, every device, every application, every request must prove its legitimacy every single time, regardless of whether it's coming from inside or outside the network. Google was one of the first major companies to implement this at scale. After being targeted in a sophisticated Chinese cyber attack in 2009, an operation called Aurora, Google spent years building their own zero trust system called BeyondCorp. By 2017, Google employees could work from any device on any network without a VPN, because access was based on verified identity and device health, not network location. Their breach rates dropped dramatically. Here's what Zero Trust actually does in practice. First, it enforces least privilege access, meaning every user only gets access to exactly what they need for their specific job, nothing more. A marketing employee has zero access to financial systems. An accountant can't touch engineering repositories. Second, it uses continuous authentication, not just a login at the start of the day but constant verification throughout the session using behavioral analytics, device certificates, and multi-factor checks. Third, it microsegments the network, breaking it into tiny isolated zones so that even if an attacker compromises one segment, they hit a wall immediately and cannot spread laterally. The numbers are stark. IBM's 2023 Cost of a Data Breach report found that organizations with mature zero trust deployments saved an average of $1.5 million per breach compared to those without it. The average data breach now costs $4.45 million globally. Meanwhile, the Verizon 2023 Data Breach Investigations report confirmed that 74% of all breaches involve human elements, stolen credentials, privilege abuse, or social engineering. Zero Trust specifically targets each of these vectors. But here's the uncomfortable truth that vendors won't tell you. Zero Trust is not a product you can buy. It's a philosophy and an architecture. Companies are spending billions on tools marketed as zero trust solutions, but without the underlying mindset shift and proper implementation, they're just buying expensive security theater. Gartner predicted that by 2026, 10% of large enterprises will have a mature measurable zero trust program in place, up from less than 1% in 2023. That gap is where attackers live. So what can you actually do? First, audit your current access permissions immediately. Most organizations discover employees have access to hundreds of systems they never use, each one a potential attack vector. Second, demand multi-factor authentication everywhere, not just email but every single business application. Third, ask your IT team specifically about lateral movement controls. Can an attacker who compromises your laptop reach your entire company's database? If the answer is yes, you are living in a castle with no interior walls. The moat has already been crossed.